If you look at D&D or most of the D&D analogs, they tend to define characters in terms of how they were born, so in D&D, your race, and what you learned to do from there. So your class, your profession, that sort of thing. And that is, unfortunately, a lot of the ways that society looks at people and defines people in the real world. Changeling takes that and kind of turns it on its ear in a way that I think is really interesting and can have some really cool therapeutic applications. And that is, it looks at people as what happened to them and how that affected them, which is your seeming and your kith, and then how you responded to that, or how that made you, influenced your way of looking at the world, which is your court. So for example, you have beasts who might have been used as runners or hunting animals or beasts of burden or messengers. And it's not about because you were born to be a beast, it's because that's what happened to you. And I think it's got a really interesting analog with trauma there, and how the things that happen to us affect us and then affect how we go forward from there. The courts, the 4 seasonal courts, which are the most common ones, are spring, which is desire. And that's really all about finding your own, doing the things that make you happy, doing the things you want to do. And spring court believes that by doing those things, they hide themselves from their keepers and prevent themselves from being taken back into Arcadia, because their keeper couldn't, they took away all of their free will and they couldn't recognize them if they were pursuing the things that they wanted to pursue. By the same token, Summer believes that wrath is the way to deal with avoiding their keepers. They believe that they have to be prepared and ready for battle and ready for confrontation. Autumn Court believes that fear and being cautious and paranoid is the best way to avoid that kind of thing. And Winter believes that by suppressing one's emotions and hiding and gathering knowledge, one can avoid these things happening to them again, being retaken and that sort of thing. So that's one of the reasons why I'm really excited about running this game for you guys. You guys are all part of a freehold, which is a presence of changelings within a city. Normally freeholds happen where there are a lot of gateways between the hedge, which is the divider between the mortal world and Arcadia. And thus a lot of changelings coming out and escaping from Arcadia end up in these cities. And they form these freeholds to help protect each other and teach each other and avoid being taken back into Arcadia. Your particular city, your freehold is called the Freehold of Fire River, and it's called that because there's a river that runs perpendicular east-west through the town, and so at dawn and dusk, the sun reflects off that river and makes it look like it's on fire. Your group has been working together in what's called a motley. Motleys are any group of changeling that is vowed to work together, and they can take the forms of anything from a gang to a family to a business. Just any sort of social structure you can imagine can be represented in a motley. You guys have been working together for a while now, a couple months at least, and done some adventures, gone and done some tasks. You recovered a scepter for the Spring Queen. You cleared a orchard that had been corrupted by tainted raven monsters, and cleared that so that it's now a viable working farm in the hedge again. And as a thank you for that, the Spring Queen, who asked you to do it, has promised you that in perpetuity, you will receive 5% of the goblin fruits that are harvested out of that orchard. And a goblin fruit is a generic name for any magical fruit that is found in the hedge. They're not all fruit. They can be vegetables, roots, leaves, grass, and kind of any growing thing. And then there's also oddments, which are other things you find, like maybe if you took a thorn off one of the hedges in the briars in the hedge and use that for a weapon, that might be an oddment. But mostly what she's growing in there are goblin fruit. And it's been a couple of months since she promised this, and the first harvest has become ripened, and she has contacted you guys and let you know that you can come and pick up your first tithing at the local city park. Goblin fruit, you would know, they all have a single benefit. If you eat one of them, it restores a point of your glamour. Glamour is your magical energy, basically. It's your fey energy. It's what you use to power your contracts. You can use it to strengthen your mask, your fey visage, so that even other fey can't tell that you're a fey. You can use it to drop your mask so that humans can see your drop your mane, which is your appearance that keeps humans from telling what you are. So you can spend a point of glamour to drop that so that they can see you as your true changeling self. And there's a lot of other little things you can do for it, but it's kind of your mana, if you will. What keeps you going in a supernatural sense. So being able to get this incoming supply of goblin fruits is a really big boon. There's a couple of other ways that you can restore your glamour. There is, let's see, you can go into people's dreams and harvest emotions from their dreams, and that will restore your glamour. It's generally considered pretty intrusive, though, unless you've been invited to do so. You can also restore glamour by witnessing and concentrating on intense human emotion. So if you see a couple in a parking lot fighting, that is a possible source of glamour. If you spend some energy concentrating on that, that might restore your glamour some. If you walk by a funeral home and people are crying and mourning their lost loved one, that could be a source of humor, or a source of glamour, not humor. And if you are harvesting a source of glamour that is associated with your particular court, so if you're at a rave and you're a spring courtier and everybody's just getting their groove on, that is will give you like double benefit. That's a really, really strong glamour for you. So those are some things to keep in mind as you're spending glamour. You may want to find some ways to restore it if you find yourself running low. Speaking of which, just so you guys have a quick idea of how they work, the first part is a paragraph description, no big deal. You do want to look at your seeming, blessing, curse, and talent, because those are unique abilities for your combo of seeming and kith, and I won't always know what those are. So keep kind of looking at them every once in a while to see if they apply to any of the roles that you're making or any of the things you're doing, because they'll give you some extra little benefits. Next comes your attributes and your skills. How strong you are, how smart you are, etc., and what you've been trained to do. If you have 0 in any one of your skills, you can still do something related to that. You're just at a penalty. For mental skills, it's at 3, because mental skills are things that generally you have to be trained in or educated in order to do well. For physical and social, you're just at a -1 die penalty, easy peasy. On your second page, you've got traits, you've got health, willpower. Glamour is you've got 5 out of 10. That means that you're basically at half pool to start. You can gather up. So if you were to go out and eat goblin fruit right now, you could kick that up to your full pool of 10, but you're all starting halfway through your pool. And you've got your weird, which is basically how in sync with your face self you are and how powerful you are in your face self. You guys are all starting characters. How cognizant you are of the Fey world and the magical things that are happening around you, and how firmly rooted you are in the mortal world and what everyone thinks of as reality. So when you've got a high clarity, you're in really good balance. If it gets too high, you may even start losing your ability to connect with your Fey self. And if it goes too low, like all the way down to 0, you can enter bedlam, which is essentially you kind of go insane and no longer can differentiate between reality and your psychosis. Let's see what else. Size, speed, defense, those things are pretty easily explained or understood. And then your contracts are just your particular magical powers. You guys that I thought would be appropriate for your character. They're not necessarily, if you were to sit down and build a character, a first level character out of the book, you wouldn't necessarily be able to do these things. But being so we only have a 2-hour session, I really wanted to make sure you had access to some things that might be fun and didn't have to waste. Normally you have to buy them in order. I didn't want you to waste any time or concentration on things that weren't going to come up, weren't going to be fun, that kind of thing. So just know that these are, just like we're doing a super short summary of the rules, we're doing a super short summary of the character sheets to make them fun for you for this session. Okay. So that's the quick summary of where we're starting out. Does anybody have any questions before we go any further? Nope, you're all good. So if I stop and ask that, do me a favor. If you do have a question, throw your hand up. Otherwise, I'm just going to wait a second and go on because I don't want to waste a lot of your time. So, yes.
Yes. I had some audio difficulty for a second there. It's glamour that if you go too low, you go kind of bestial, and if you go too high, you lose contact. Was it?
That's clarity.
Clarity.
That's clarity. Glamour is basically your power. It's your battery and some people can comfortable if they're low glamour because both consciously and unconsciously they realize that leaves them vulnerable. If you have any glamour to back up your contracts, to be able to use your contracts, you're kind of a sitting duck if you are the kind of character that relies on them. And some people also get kind of addicted to harvesting glamour because it's
joyous being reunited with any people. That's fantastic because some people say the Fae and feed off of that kind of thing. Therefore, it would be amazing feeders for any kind of glamour. I used to trade in, I used to do communications, so to speak, and talk between different leaders and world leaders. But a secret between you and me, when one message is supposed to go someplace and somebody wants a message to go somewhere else, that can be very valuable to the person with the information. So I made a living doing that, but I just kind of want to do my own thing.
Wonderful, wonderful. And Andre? Oh, Kevin?
Sorry to interrupt. I forgot to give more of a description of Pax. So I'm picturing him wearing some pretty floral, like high man thigh revealing swim trunks, and like a white tank top with a flowy Hawaiian shirt, and always barefoot. And then the colors on his shirt match his he has the mohawk, kind of like my hair, but mine's to the side, but it's a mohawk that goes all the way back that kind of swooshes with pink, purple, and teal with the colors of his shirt, almost like Rorschach in what you call it,
Watchmen.
Yeah, in Watchmen. So it's all kind of like on the shirt and on the hair, kind of flowing in cool psychedelic colors.
Nice. Okay, Andre, how about you?
All right, I am playing Alex, and Alex is a thinker. He's very silent, but he's pretty good looking. He's always dressed in sort of like dark clothing, and He's developed a passion of smoking, cigarettes that he can't stop smoking for some reason. And he has a pretty disturbing background where he likes to play games, and he was actually investigating a new history behind the history of chess. So it was like a precursor to chess. And when he met somebody who basically tried to show him this new game, and it brought him to this new dimension, Arcadia, where he was forced to play, be a sentient piece in this chess game year after year after year after year, almost unending. So he's probably seen some really horrible things, and he's very silent, but again, very attractive. And you can always see him, he's smoking a cigarette and he's twirling 2 chess pieces in between his fingers at all times. Just remembering the torture that he went through.
Awesome. Wonderful. Okay, so now that we all kind of know who you guys are, you all have been invited to the city park to meet up with the former Spring Queen. She's no longer the reigning monarch because it's summer now. So in this freehold, as in most freeholds, the changelings take turns ruling the freehold based on the season. So during the spring court, a spring courtier will be the reigning monarch. During summer, a summer courtier will. And this is one of the ways that the changelings protect themselves from the true fae, because the true fae cannot even imagine the idea of voluntarily giving up that kind of power. At least that's what the lores say. And so even though we have dozens, if not 100 changelings here in the freehold in one city area, normally that would attract the true fae's attention. But the fact that the freeholds and the monarchs give up this power kind of acts as a hidden blanket over the city. Not to say that the true fae never show up, because you all know and have heard nightmare stories about people's keepers coming after them in the real world, but it does divert some of the attention at least. So the former Spring Queen has invited you to City Park to pick up your bounty, the first tithing of the goblin fruits that have grown in the orchard that you guys cleansed. And the time has come. The City Park is not too far. It's within walking distance of the house, the apartment that you guys have as a motley. Not all of you live there. It's up to you whether your character lives there full time or whether they just come in there. Changelings tend to be, even within their motleys, tend to be a little bit suspicious about others, which is why she's not delivering it to your motley house, because you haven't told her where it is. You probably haven't told anyone who isn't in the motley where it is, because, better safe than sorry. So the city park is not too far away. It's maybe a 10-minute walk or so. And how would you guys like to walk it there? Does anybody have any other ideas about transportation?
How far away did you say it was?
Maybe a 10-minute walk.
Okay.
There's a bus line that goes there.
I'm going to ride the motorcycle I assume that I have.
I think that's a wonderful idea. So are you going to go ahead?
Mhm.
Okay.
I'm going to do some scouting.
Sky wants to know if she can tag along in the back and feel the wind in her hair. Sky takes that as a yes and raise up.
That's about as much of an affirmative as you get from them.
Yeah. She beams a little and jumps on.
Nice. What about the rest of you?
I wonder if maybe we should call an Uber. Or we could walk. I don't know, 10 minutes walking. That's good for the soul.
Alex is going to say no need, and he's just going to use his charming good looks to wave the flag down the car and see if he can bum a ride.
Nice.
Oh, you found an Uber already. Great.
I'm all for the Uber.
When you got the goods, who needs payment?
Pax just jumps in the back, assuming it's an Uber.
So Ash is on, you guys all step outside of the apartment. Ash has got, her cell phone and is putting in the proper information to call an Uber. Alex, kind of steps half in front, like not so that he get hit by it, but that kind of like you do for a taxi, in front of just it's a really nice like SUV. It's like a Land Rover kind of thing, and he's just like, and the person like kind of slows down, comes to a stop, rolls down their window. Sup?
I'm sorry, love. I seem to be lost. Do you think you can give me a ride down the street?
Okay,
Don't
so
make me don't make me beg.
let's do our first roll here. This seems like a wonderful opportunity to do our first roll. So, Alex, what I'm going to have you do is roll your presence plus your socialize. So when you make a roll in Changeling, what you're going to do is you're going to look at the value that you have in the two traits, usually it's two traits that I give you. You're going to add those together, and that's going to give you the number of dice in your die pool. Then you're going to roll that many dice, and you're going to look for 8s, 9s, and 10s. Anything below 8, 9, or 10 doesn't matter. But if you get an 8, 9, or a 10, those count as a success. And if you get a 10, you not only get to count that as a success, but it explodes. You get 10 again. So you get to count it as a success and roll it. So just let me know how many successes you get in your pool.
So my first roll was 3, 9, and 10. And then I rolled the 10 again and I got another 10. And then I rolled, I got another 10.
Oh my goodness.
Bruh.
And an 8. So 3 10s, a 9, and an 8.
Okay. So this Karen in the SUV, her eyes get about this big once she gets a look at you and hears your voice. And she's like, well, where do you need to go? I mean, I'm so sorry you're lost, but where do you need to go?
Oh, don't worry. I'll stop you when it's the right time.
Oh,
And I
okay.
and I look back at the group and say, Uber ordered. Hop in.
Oh,
I hop it.
All of you? Oh, okay. I guess that's fine.
Yeah, they're with me.
Can sit
Don't
up
worry.
front here with me.
Oh, yeah. Oh, of course. Anything.
Thanks so much for offering the ride. And he just rubs Karen's shoulder. Really sweet of you.
She locks the doors. And being so, she wasn't like at a stoplight or anything. She was just midway down the block. She kind of proceeds. Traffic is lining up behind her, honking, going around fast. She doesn't care at all. So she just proceeds down the road. So, hi, my name's Bernadette. What's yours? Where are you guys going?
Oh, my name's Alex. We're part of a rock band. We're heading to practice right down the street. And, equipment's already down there, so we didn't have time to lug all of that with us. And thanks, love, for giving us a ride. We really appreciate it.
Of course. I thought you looked familiar. I just knew as I was driving down the street and I caught a glance of you, I was like, that looks like, that guy from that band. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited. I'm a big fan. Big fan. Yep.
Twisted Nail. Make sure you grab our next album.
Yeah. No, I've got like all of them. I'm such a huge fan. So she proceeds to go down the street, and you get kind of to the area where you're going to have to take a left to get to the city park. So, but are the rest of you like? She kind of looks at you, and she's obviously not quite as enamored of any of you. She kind of looks at Pax. Roadies? Crew?
Yeah.
Bass players?
I provide the psychedelics for the group.
It's an important part of the music process.
It helps keep the music flowing and the dancing and the movement, and it's quite lovely.
Yeah. Not wanting her to look too closely at his companions. He goes, don't worry about them, love. I'm the star of the show. It's me on the album cover, okay? Don't worry about them. They'll be okay. They back me up.
With those black leather pants. Oh my goodness. Like, I said that I bought it for my daughter, but it was really for me.
Oh, I'm so happy to hear that. Matter of fact, give me your address. I'll make sure you get a pair of tickets to our next concert.
Oh my
as
goodness.
A compensation for a ride.
She like rattles. You guys stop at a stoplight, and she's like looking through the dash box and stuff, looking for a napkin, jigging in her purse, trying to find a pen, and she scrawls something down, and like really paying close attention to her penmanship, and she like signs her name Bernadette with like a heart over the something, even though there isn't like an I in it. But there's definitely a heart above it. Yeah, no, seriously, here's my phone number. Here's my email. Here's my Instagram. Yeah, totally. Like, follow me.
LinkedIn,
oh my God. Yeah.
I'm gonna
Bumble.
Most people don't have a MySpace, but here's mine.
Right, exactly. Here's the MySpace I had when I was in high school. I was really hot back then.
So those of you guys will look at Alex, and you can see he's kind of like smirking in the corner of his mouth. I mean, he's having a little bit of fun while he's accomplishing our goals of getting to where we need to go. So
nice.
Yeah.
So I assume you direct her towards the city park. And she's like looking around, like, where to from here? I don't see your equipment and stuff. I want to make sure I get you to the right place.
Guys, where are we heading to? I don't do the logistics. I just sign.
Oh yeah, no, of course. And there is a gathering that you can see. It's kind of at one of those like covered gazebo kind of things, and you can tell in silhouette that at least one of the individuals there has 4 arms. So you're thinking that maybe that's where you're supposed to be. It looks like there's probably like 4 or 5 individuals there, ranging from what looks to be like large Saint Bernard size quadruped all the way to a very short person with 4 arms, a very lanky individual that looks like they're just all knees and elbows. I mean, their arms and legs look about half again as long as they would be on a normal range human being. So you're pretty sure that that's either your group that's waiting for you or a really, really crazy family picnic.
Do Rip and I beat them there and pass them at any point?
Oh yeah. Let's flip over that. I forgot about that. So Rip, Sky, you guys head straight to the city park. It only takes you on the motorcycle. I mean, it literally takes you longer to get, the bike and get on it and get going than it does to get to the city park. It's maybe 8-10 blocks.
It's a matter of principle.
Right. Yeah. Exactly. So you pull up, there's, it's a midday, weekday afternoon. So there's, some families gathered around here and there. It's not super busy, but you do see the aforementioned like open gazebo pavilion, like the places you can rent to hold your kid's birthday party and stuff in good weather. And you see the group that I described.
Every time there was a green light, Sky's doing the woo, and then like stops like at a red light, and it's like green light again.
Such a bummer.
Which at some point zips past everybody else in a moment.
After about the second time, there's an elbow that just kind of comes back behind from the top.
And when we say elbow, we mean elbow.
Yeah. And she stops for a minute, but she does it very quietly. Now it's a
acceptable.
Very nice. Do you approach? Do you observe? How do you interact?
I'm gonna move forward so I can kind of see a little bit of what's going on in there, but also can watch for the rest of the motley.
Cool. You would recognize, because you've seen them before, there is the small individual with the 4 arms is a character that you've met in the Goblin Market. Their name is Wego, and they run a business called Yugo Wego, or Wego. There we go. And it's a hedge scout leading business, so you can hire Wego to take you pretty much anywhere in the hedge. You just have to know where it is you want to go. The other individuals, one of them looks like a very, very large, imagine like a Shih Tzu, the size of a Saint Bernard. Okay, so it's got like it's kind of like a English sheepdog, but not, and it's purple.
Okay.
Yeah. And
That's a thing.
and the individual that is all knees and elbows is very, very light green in color. They're completely bald, and their eyes are kind of a yellowish tone and appear to have 2 irises in it. You've seen them. They run a little merchant booth in the Goblin Market, just knickknacks and things like that. You've never really interacted with them, but they're individuals that you have seen in the Goblin Market before.
Yeah. Well, if either of them notice me, I'm gonna wave. I'm gonna wave and then like just point like I'm waiting. So
This guy's gonna we go, and then realize making, and then be like, we go that way, and then sort of hummingly, very slowly make her way over.
Okay, cool. And it's not too long. I mean, the rest of the group, you guys pull up as Sky is starting to head towards the pavilion. Rip's still lounging on his bike like a cool dude, and you could pull, like, literally there's a place where you can pull in close enough, like within a stone's throw of the pavilion, in order to like offload picnic stuff and things like that. There's no parking there, but there is a drive-through loop for loading and unloading. So Bernadette is like, where I don't see, do you see your crew?
Hey, Bernadette, I was wondering, do you have a mint? Perhaps some gum.
Oh yeah, sure. I'm sure I have something. So she's kind of like, she's pulled into the park area, so she's not actually on the road for traffic to back up behind her, but she like kind of pulls to the side of the lane and starts rustling through her purse. I think I had some, I don't know.
I'd take a Nutri-Grain bar too. I mean, whatever you got.
I have a Slim Fast bar.
Fabulous. I can have that.
Sure. Go ahead.
Any orange slices?
Any friend of Alex is a friend of mine.
He takes a bite and then puts his hand on her shoulder again, and he's gonna give the gift of warm breath. And just say, I hope you have a lovely day. I think we could probably get out here and walk the rest of the way. We'll meet our crewmates in the park. Maybe they're not here yet, but gee whiz, sure, great to meet you. And I wish you all the best.
Aw, you guys are just, I was a little uncertain about him, but what a sweetheart. I mean, my goodness, you really have a good crew, Alex. I mean, you should really make sure. I mean, yeah, these guys are great. Wow. I feel so great. Wow. I feel like I just had a Dutch Bros. Wow. And so she pulls over and she's like, could I, like, I know you got mine, but could I get your contact number maybe? I mean, if that'd be okay.
I kind of push between them and kind of lean into and go, maybe you should remember to protect yourself. And I know you did us this great favor, but don't forget that you are a woman alone in your car. And, you know, you got to make sure you're safe and you don't want to get harmed. So maybe next time don't be so generous with your information and don't be giving all this stuff out. And just like, I like this whole time I was just like shaking my head, freaking out, like this woman that's like so stupid, and like kind of like try to re-emphasize, almost wanting to intimidate and reverse like all this goodwill that just got, because like I just can't stand this whole, and like trying to push through, and they're like, don't.
Yeah, no,
try and get
she's
this done.
like, her eyes are like this big. She's like, but I mean, I normally I wouldn't, I mean, I never do this. I mean, I never do. It's just, I mean, it's Alex and the bent nails. I mean, you know, I mean, yeah. I mean, yeah.
No.
Yeah, don't freak the poor woman out, love. Yes, don't.
I mean, yeah, it is, but and I kind of push him out the door and be like, don't do it again.
No, I promise. I'd never do this. I mean, I never ever do this. This is not me. I don't make a habit of this. I really don't. And
I just like, yeah, and I just re-emphasizing the fears. This like never like, yeah.
And as you push Alex out the door, he just yells back, "I'll call you."
Nice. She's like,
are you not gonna give the nice lady your number?
Oh, I mean, we're a traveling group, and even if I gave it to her, I wouldn't be home. So what's the point?
that's
I
totally
believe there's cell phone, but I don't know.
That's totally understandable. I don't want to be any inconvenience. I totally understand how it is with you big names and everything. It was really just my honor so much. If you guys are ever back in town and you need anything, especially you, Alex, I mean, just please let me know. Please let me know. I'm begging you to let me know. And so at that point, she realizes that she is babbling, and once you guys are all out, she rolls up the windows on the SUV and drives away going, what did I do? That was amazing. I got to call Becky.
Yeah.
So you guys are now at the park. The gazebo is a stone's throw away from where you are. There are the three individuals are waiting. They've got some bundles set out on the picnic table that are like hobo bundles. You know, they're all tied shut. Brindle bags or whatever those are called. Bindle bags. Yeah. And so they're, you know, once they're kind of watching as this car pulls up and you have this interchange, and like Wego's curious. The dog is just sitting there going like, huh? And the very tall green individual is just shaking their head like, I just cannot believe these guys, seriously. Okay. The things I do for work. So do you approach? Yes, Kevin.
Real quick, can you remind me what the Shih Tzu creature, do we know them or what they're about?
You've seen them at the Goblin Market.
Okay.
They although they are quadrupedal, they have a stall at the Goblin Market that sells refreshments and brewed things, which I better make a note of because, you know, that just became part of our reality. So
important part of game mastering.
Exactly.
Backing up what you just made up.
Yep.
Yeah, so you've seen them all. The only one you've really interacted with is Wego, who led you. One time you hired them to lead you somewhere, and one time a person that you were working for hired them to lead you to where you needed to be. So you've interacted with Wego a couple times, but the other ones you haven't. Purple.
And Wego was the one that was going to give us our Goblin Fruit.
Yeah. There's well, the Spring Queen didn't specifically said. She just said go to the park. I'll hire somebody to get them to you. One of the weird things that you would know about Goblin Fruit is even though they're only, I mean, they vary in size from berries to coconut size, you know, that kind of thing, maybe watermelon size, but how many of them you can carry is not based on your strength. Because they are a supernatural item, you're limited by your weird. And all of you guys have one weird, which means that you can carry up to 3 of them. So you would know that, that an individual who can carry more of those is obviously more powerful than you are. And you know that you can't carry more than 3 of them, regardless, even if they're just strawberry sized. So
I think as Sky's approaching, she whistles a neat little tune. She started humming while she was there, and she whistles a neat little tune that the more you listen to it, the more bird-like it sounds and chirping, to where anyone who might be listening too closely might even swear it sounds like talking to birds. I would like to cast Tongue of Birds and Words of Wolves, and be able, for the scene, to be able to talk to the birds in the park and just kind of ask them how their day is and see if anything interesting had happened around any of the situation I'm about to go into.
fantastic. Okay, so we're gonna
It costs 1 glamour.
Okay, so I'm going to lead you through the contract here. It does cost 1 glamour. However, there is a catch. So a catch is a really cool, like, back door for activating contracts. If you can activate the catch, or have activated the catch by fulfilling whatever it requires of you, then you don't have to spend the glamour in order to activate the contract, which can be very handy. So if you were to, for example, look up and see a robin in one of the trees and go, "Hey, Mr. Redbreast, how are you doing today?" So you've given it a new name, because the catch is to give the animal a new name. Then you can activate it without spending any of your glamour. But it's your choice about whether you'd like to do that or whether you'd like to spend the glamour.
Oh no, absolutely. As I'm whistling, I sort of sing a neat little tune, and it goes to the effect of, "Alice, come and talk to me, Alice. Oh, Alice." And I think a little, if I may, a little blue jay kind of comes and props on my shoulder, whose name is now Alice.
Name is now Alice. That is wonderful. Okay, so for the rest of this scene, wait, you will still need to roll your weird plus your animal kin. So your weird is 1, because you're all starting characters. Your animal kin will be found on your social skills. And
2. It says birds next to it. Does that mean something?
Yes, that is a specialty. So when you are activating a skill that fulfills that specialty, you get to add another bonus dice to it. So in this case, you're adding your weird, which is 1, your animal kin, which is 2, another die for your specialty, which is makes it a total of 4, and then because I actually remembered this, your seeming blessing means that you get 8 again on rolls using animal kin. So when we're doing this, any success that you get, any 8, 9, or 10, you will not only count that as a success, but you will also get to roll those dice again.
Really awesome. Okay.
Yeah.
Let's see what I get. That'd be a 9, a 3, a 1, and a 9. So that means I get to re-roll the 2 9s.
Yep. So you have 2 successes banked, and
which is double 9s again.
Fantastic. So that's 4 successes banked. Because you got 9s again, you get to roll those again.
Really?
We could keep doing this all day.
A 6 and a 5. So
6 and a 5. Okay, so we can't do this all day. But you did get 4 successes. The bird is very happy to talk to you. It is telling you all about what a beautiful day it is and how the weather's so nice here. And it's just so glad, because it was rainy the other day, but now it's, the rain's nice too, because the worms come out and you can eat those. They're pretty tasty, but they're not their favorite, because they really, really, really like peanuts. But sometimes it's hard to get peanuts, especially in the rain, because people don't come to the park during the rain. And it goes on like this until you stop it.
Is Kevin around? Is Kevin close by?
Oh, hey.
Do you have some granola on you? You usually do.
Oh yeah, well, there's definitely still a little bit of this Slim Fast bar. Happy to share with any creature, really.
Might I?
Of course.
And then I
Surrounded by hippies.
feed it to the bird. And if the bird says nothing unusual has happened, then Alice is going to chill my shoulder for this scene. And I'm going to ask Alice, now, if you notice anything coming towards or anything out of the ordinary, chirp and then run right to safety. Okay.
You mean out of the ordinary, like that great big dog that's purple, or out of the ordinary, like that guy with the 4 arms? He's really short though, and the other guy's not short at all, but he's kind of green. He's like plants. Do you think he's ate too many plants? I don't know. One time I ate too many plants, I got sick. It was awful. I couldn't fly for like a day.
Anything out of the ordinary that might be scary and coming quickly in our direction.
Okay. Well, most things are scary for me.
Okay.
But okay, cool. We can do that.
All right.
Coming quickly in our direction, I can do that. I can do. Yeah. In fact, I'm the best watchbird you've ever seen. I could be the best watchbird ever, especially if I could have some more of that granola stuff.
Oh, and immediately, just without even thinking, just.
Yeah.
I kind of want to eat this bird now.
You can eat the bird this time.
No, not Alice.
Okay, so anything else before you guys approach the motley trio here?
No.
Okay, so you approach. Wego is very excited to see you guys. We're so happy. We're going to go somewhere. No, we're not going somewhere this time, but I wish we were going somewhere. I wish we were going. If you have someplace to go, we could go, but I mean, we have to charge you. But somebody else paid us, the queen with the green, she paid us to bring these things to you. So here we are, and here they are, and here you are. So, we're so happy. We go so happy.
Hey, let's have a hug there.
Wego hugs you in the way that only someone with 4 arms can do.
Oh, that's extra.
They're also only about waist high on you, so you know.
Pax gives a little kiss on top of their head.
Aww.
Such a sweetie.
They're very furry.
And furry.
We gonna love you the best. You always the best. You the one who had the bowl that sings, and the bowl that sings, and that bowl that sings. I cannot remember name, but your character had given a different character a Tibetan singing bowl.
Nice.
So, so the bowl that sings, and then that bowl that sings showed up on the head of a monster like a hat, but that's okay because we killed the monster and we put the monster on the arch in the goblin market, and it's very pretty now. Everybody can see it, especially your bowl. The head is getting a little creepy, but the bowl's still nice.
I have another bowl if you'd like.
Oh, that's so cool!
I just keep them in at least one of my pockets. Here, you can just have it.
Oh, thank you so much. We go love this. Here, we trade you. We go trade. We go not take present. We go trade. We go.
Okay.
Wego's wearing kind of, just like really basic, like kind of capri, like loose pantalone kind of things tied at the waist, but it's full of pockets. And Wego goes digging with all 4 hands through their pockets, looking for something. They come up with like some empty snail shells, and like, no, those still kind of smelly. It's a like a half-eaten sandwich, and it's like, oh no, that's for lunch later. But to see, oh yes. And he hands you it's a packet of what looks to be dried herbs. He says, this smells so good. If you burn it when you go to sleep, you sleep real good. And if you're having trouble going to sleep, you can burn it and it helps relax you. It's very good. But don't burn it if you don't want to go to sleep, because it's very, very, very good at making you go to sleep.
Oh, that's great. Very generous. Thank you so much.
Good trade. It's good trade. We go like Pax trade. Yeah.
Yeah, I offer you a soothing sound and you offer me a soothing scent.
Yes!
That's neat.
Yes, we like twinsies. Yes. Oh, but you probably want your stuff, huh?
Oh, yeah.
This is not for trading. This is for the queen owing you. So the green queen are owing you. And so he opens up the bindle, and in it, kind of lays it out like it's a small picnic cloth, and in it there's about a half a dozen what looks to be purple apricots. And what I would like for you guys to do is to each give me how about intelligence occult roll. If you by any chance have something else that's related to plants or related to hedge things or fey things, please feel free to let me know and we can maybe substitute that in. But as a base, we're going to use intelligence plus occult.
Is it a punching based plant?
No, it is not a punching base.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
Then I got nothing.
Well, I have 3 botany.
Ooh.
Oh, yep, definitely going to use that instead. So use your intelligence plus your botany. And let's see, that is Ash, right? So let me take a peek.
4 and 3.
4 and 3. Fantastic.
Thematically, my total is egg shaped.
Nice. Okay. So, Ash, you're actually going to be rolling 4 and 4 because your botany is a specialization of science. So you get your 3 points for science plus 1 because botany applies to it. If you were doing something with like chemistry, then only the science would apply. But being so it's botany and science, you're going to get an extra bonus die there. So you're going to roll a total of 8 die. You should be identifying the heck out of these things. Edward, for Sky, you have 3 plus you have 0 in occult.
I also have my tins don't explode on intelligence is a kind of curse.
Yeah. Sky, those are some pretty fruits. They are really pretty.
They are.
Yeah, not as pretty as you, but pretty. Okay, so did anyone else get any successes?
I don't believe in success. I don't think it's real.
I had a
It leads
one
you into
success.
complacency.
One success. Okay, fantastic. Gray, you are fairly certain that the half a dozen fruit. So there's a half a dozen of one kind, obviously, and then there's a scattering, another half a dozen, or maybe even another dozen that are just kind of mix match. One of them looks like a little bundle of grass. There's some leaves. There's some different kinds of like root-looking vegetables or fruits or that kind of thing. But you're pretty sure that the ones that are the collective of 6 of them are something called Dreama Droop. And what those are a healing fruit that grows in the summertime. So you're not surprised at all with that. And you know that if this is what you think it is, if you eat one when you're injured, it will heal you up a small amount. But if you're not injured, then it will just boost your glamour. And every goblin fruit will boost your glamour if you eat it. So this is it's predominantly saved for healing, but that kind of thing. And then, did anybody else get any successes?
So it was 8, 9, and 10.
No. Let me see. Normally it's just 10. The reason he was getting 8, 9, and 10 is because his character specifically got that benefit for animal.
Okay. Well, I got 1, 10.
Oh, I'm sorry. I misanswered your question. Yes, a success is on 8, 9, or 10. 10s explode. So 10. So how many 8, 9s, or 10s did you get?
I got 1, 2, 3.
You got 3.
And I got 1, 10.
1, 10. Okay, so that 10 counts as a success, and you get to re-roll it and see if you get another 8, 9, or 10.
I got 1, 9.
You got 1, 9. Okay, fantastic. We'll get to that in just a second. Nope. Okay, so but you still got like 3 successes. Is that right, Doe?
Mhm.
Okay,
Right.
fantastic. Pax, you recognize that one of the little bundles of what is here is the same stuff that Wego just gave you. So there's a little bundle of what looks like dried herb or moss that's been tied together with a string to kind of keep it together. Kind of looks like Scotch moss or dried sage. And you recognize that as something called Sweet Sleep. And it's good for exactly what he said. It'll help you fall asleep if you're feeling tired, if you just burn it. If you invest it with glamour when you set it on fire, it has a chance of making someone go to sleep if they inhale the air. So it can be used kind of against people's will, but for the most part, it's just used to, relax if you need to get to sleep or that kind of thing. It gives you sleep that doesn't have nightmares and very calm and restful sleep.
We've weaponized Quill.
Weaponize the moss. Okay, so Joe, your character, Ash, man, they are all over this. They are so excited. And they're like, okay, well, that one does this, and that one does this, and that one does this. You've got a couple of them that there's the Dreama Droops that help heal and give you back glamour. There's a handful of them that are just glamour. They don't have any other special benefits, but you do know that they'll give you back a point of glamour if you eat them. There is one that's kind of confusing looking. You know that this is a plant that that is very, very like another plant. There's two of them. There is buglewort and nightcap. Buglewort makes people, it's an upper. It makes them very alert and sometimes irritable. It increases how fast they respond to things and that kind of thing. And sorry, I got to scroll down to find the description. So buglewort, and then nightcap does just the opposite. It makes them very lethargic, cuts their speed in half. And it's so one of them is an upper, the other one is a downer. So could you please give me a intelligence plus either survival or occult, whichever one is higher for you? And then tell me how many successes you get.
Okay, occult is 1, having to do with hedge plants.
Yeah, but you do have 3 survival.
Where is that? I'm not seeing.
It's the next column over. Survival is a physical skill.
Okay.
So it's the second from the bottom. So you have 3 in that.
Yep.
Yeah. So you could roll a dice pool of 7, and you only need to get 1 success to tell the difference between the 2.
Okay. I'm not doing so well.
Oh no!
How many do I get to roll? 7?
7 total, and 10s explode.
Man, Google dice. I don't hit anything higher than a 7.
Okay, so there are 3 packages here of something that is either nightcap or buglewort. But you don't know which, like, you're like, obviously these 2 are different than this one, but I can't tell which one is the buglewort and which one is the nightcap. So if you choose to use those, we'll be doing a crapshoot on that. So, and there's a total of 3 bundles of that, 2 of one and 1 of the other. You also notice that there is something that is it's a leafy plant, looks like a nettle, and you know that if you brew that, it turns into a tea that you can get, that will give you back some willpower. And that's called coop nettle, and the remainder of the plants. So there's 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. The other 7 of the, because there's a total of 18 plants or bundles of things. The other 7 are just kind of generic goblin fruit that are, a glamour refresher kind of thing. So you guys can divide these up however you want to. None of you can carry more than 3 of them. It's obvious that Wego or at least one of the 3 members of this crew, because they're all in one bindle. It's obvious that they carried all of them here, which is kind of an impressive thing.
To clarify, both the herbs that we can't identify won't hurt anybody. They just might put you to sleep, and one of them might be poisonous.
They're not poisonous. One's an upper and one's a downer. So one makes you very hyper, lets you respond faster to things, and sometimes make you very irritable. It's kind of like taking Sudafed. And the other one's more like Benadryl. It makes you sleepy and lethargic and have a hard time responding to things. But neither one of them are like poisons or going to do damage to you or that kind of thing.
Neat. I pick up one of them and take note of which one I pick up for a minute and just have a little bit of it. I'm like, Alice, I got you another snack.
I like fruit.
You try a little bit of this and let me know how if you feel sleepy or anything.
Okay, you would know that in order for a goblin fruit to take effect, you need to basically consume the whole serving of it. So if you're wanting to like use her as a canary, you could give her the whole serving of it, but then that would deplete that one. So you're, and there are 2 of one and 1 of another. So you could do that if you wanted to test out which one of the 3 there are and see if she gets hyper or sleepy, and then you'd still have 1 each of the other of both of them.
I'm gonna throw that out to the party. Do we want to sacrifice and have 1 of each to know what they are?
Yeah.
I say live in the moment, and we'll just ride that wave when it comes in the future if we need to.
I'm just gonna grab the 3 closest to me.
Okay.
And these ones are mine.
Okay. So you end up, Rip, you end up with 1 Dreama Droop, which is the healing one, and one of the, I'm assuming, Sky, that you've got all 3 of the nightcap buglewort, at least at the moment. So you can distribute them out as you want. But so, Rip, you've got one of the generic ones, one of the healing ones, and then the coop nettle that is used as a tea to restore willpower.
Okay.
And I'm really, really upset that you beat me to that.
Oh no, I absolutely like hand that over. I give a little bit to the bird and then for Alice for a snack as promised.
Thank you.
So and then I hand that over and I'm very much
snacks.
This seems more like your kind of thing, Ash.
So Ash, are you going to take all 3 of the either coop nettle or buglewort?
I'll take all 3 of whatever there is because that's my field.
Sure. So I'll give those all 3 to you. So the rest of you, somebody can grab the bundle that's the same herb that Pax has, which is the sweet sleep stuff that you burn. There's enough of the Dreama Droops for you each to have 1, and then the rest of them are just generic things. So you sort them out. If it comes into play, you guys can figure out who's carrying each one. We don't need to spend a huge amount of time on it, being so you're together at least at the moment. Yes.
Since Wego gave me one of the sweet sleeps, am I able to carry still only 3?
Oh, that's a very good question. No. Yes, you can only carry 3. So
okay.
You're going to have to decide, which means that when you start picking them up, there's 1 left on the table. I'm assuming it's probably just the generic, thing. And we go and the tall green individual. So far, the Shih Tzu, the purple giant Shih Tzu, has not spoken. Neither has the green, tall, slender man looking figure. And they just kind of look at you like you're.
Oh yes, we can't really carry all these. So if you guys want to,
if I eat one of mine, if I eat my generic one, I could pick up that one, right?
Sure.
That's what I'm doing.
Okay.
Oh, that's smart. I hadn't. You'd think I'd think of that, but I didn't.
Had you spent glamour? Oh no, it doesn't matter because
Yeah, we're starting at 5.
Okay,
or
starting at
something,
5,
so-
so you've now got 6. Yeah.
Yeah.
So just make it. You can just circle that on your sheet or whatever to make a note of it. And so they're start packing up the bindle bag and the bindle and folding it up and stuff. And all of a sudden, you hear from the street the squeal of tires, like brakes locking up. It's a long like, and then a really, really, really awful thud, like something hitting a side of beef.
Okay.
And the 3 of them continue putting away their bindle, gathering up their stuff. Everybody else in the park is like turning to look at what's going on. There's a couple young families, a couple couples that are obviously walking around on a date or something, an old lady walking a dog, that kind of thing. And if you look over in the direction of the street, there is a car that has turned like 90 degrees to the lane. It was a multi-lane road. It's turned like 90 degrees. It's slammed into the car that's next to it. There's steam coming up from the impact, and you can't see what's in front of the car from the angle that you are, but there's obviously something that caused some sort of a problem. And there are a couple of people kind of like in the area that have stopped and looked, and then further away the rest of the park is kind of looking, and some people are starting to kind of walk or run that direction.
Oh boy, I think they may need some help. Let's go check it out.
Yep.
Alice, could you go find maybe another citizen of the forest who may have seen what happened? Be a good lark.
Sure. We can see. I bet somebody saw. Yeah, no problem. We can see. And she flies off.
Right.
Kind of in the direction of the accident. And you see her like go up and like kind of nest in, or, but land in a tall tree that's kind of at the edge of the park there. And then she disappears from view for a little bit.
Neat. And I follow you guys, kind of humming a little tune to myself.
Okay, does anybody do anything as you're walking over there? Anything you want to activate or actions you want to take on the way, or should we just assume that you guys get to the site of the accident?
I think the only thing I might want to do, if I think the action's reflexive anyway, so I would want to wait until I actually know if it's. I was looking at Might of the Terrible Brute, but I don't know if that's going to be relevant, so I'm going to wait until we're closer.
Yes, and so Might of the Terrible Brute is a reflexive action, which means that you do it in conjunction with taking another action, basically. So I'm going to hit you, and I'm going to activate Might of the Terrible Brute, so this hits really hard.
Okay, that makes sense.
As opposed to an instant action, which is basically what you can take an instant action and move during your turn, or you can move at double speed during your turn.
Okay.
So, okay, so you get there and a little crowd is gathered. There is a body in front of the car. Looks to be kind of maybe around, I don't know, early 30s or so. It's hard to tell. They're pretty crumpled.
Is there any way to tell if they're like alive or not?
They do not appear to be moving. The person who was the driver, the car that turned, the driver's side door and the passenger side door are both open. The people are out in front. The car that car ran into, their doors are both open. There's a lot of back and forth about, oh my God, what did you do? Oh my God. Oh, are they dead? Call 911. Somebody call 911. Just kind of a crazy stuff what's going on. And the crowd that's around them, some people are crying. Some people are like, oh my gosh, I don't know what to do. Give me if everyone would please give me a perception check. So you're going to roll your wits plus your composure. roll that many die and tell me how many 8, 9s, or 10s you get. And if you could just hold
Oh,
up.
and I have the whole smell thing where I sniff things out. It says it's part of the Kith talent there. I get 8 against on perception, but it's I smell things.
Yep.
Okay.
Do I get any bonuses for having Alice go scout things out, or is Alice bird-brained out?
She hasn't come back yet.
Okay.
We're rolling our wits plus our what?
Wits plus composure. This is one of the few times where you'll be rolling 2 attributes. One is mental, one social. Oh, wow. Damn, Rip.
You smell everything.
Oh, poor Pags.
I see time itself.
Okay, 2 for Gray, 1 for, okay, fantastic. And Doe, did you get any? None for you. Okay. So, Pax, Doe, you guys are just like overwhelmed. There is so much going on here. It is so like everybody's just chaotic. The waves of emotion that are coming off of this crowd right now. You've got fear, you've got anger, you've got sorrow, you've got it's just chaos central. Those of you who who got 1 success, you notice that the person on the ground obviously not moving, not breathing. There's somebody that's kneeling beside them, checking their pulse, and they're like, I think he's dead. I think he's dead. Rip, you notice something really interesting. Off to the side, kind of standing, leaning up against a tree, there is an individual. Their skin is gray, not any tone that you've ever seen on a human being before. This is not an uncommon tone for changelings, but and when you look at them, they look at you. They're obviously like scanning the crowd, just watching everything that's going on here. And when they lock eyes with you, you notice they have no irises. Their eyeballs are completely white. And their eyes, when they see you and you and you and you and you, their eyes go from like interested and like, oh, I'm watching this like it's a television show, to like big as dinner plates. And they actually take like a step back so that they're on the other side of the tree from you. But in that moment, you're fairly certain that that person is a changeling. You're seeing, because changelings see through each other's masks.
Yeah.
So you guys see each other as you are, whereas humans will see you as, they might see Sky as a very slim, bird-boned individual with some colorful dyeing in her hair. They might see you as a really big, bulky dude who's wearing an eye patch, but they're not going to see you as, a 7-foot tall, 7-foot wide ogre. They're just going to see you as a big dude.
Can I use as part of the actual roll for the perception? Can I throw Mindfinder on top of that?
Let's see.
It's a reflexive.
Know the direction to any target. Yes, you can throw that on. What would you like to target?
I'm going to target them.
Target that person.
That person there.
Okay, fantastic.
They're being sketchy, and I want to know where they're at.
Okay, so we're going to take a look at that. The catch has a lock of hair from the target, which you don't. So you're going to have to spend the glamour. Your dice pool is your survival plus your weird. So that's your dice pool. And then I'm going to roll their wits. This is what's called a contested roll. Yeah. So you need to get more successes than I do in order to succeed in having this go off. And I'm going to pull up their character sheet. There you are. And it is their, whoops, what did we just say? Mindfinder, their wits, okay? Okay, they have 3. Do they have any ability to, let's see. Oh, no, they're not doing that. They're not doing that. Oh, spend glamour to increase dice pools and include with subterfuge and stealth. Okay. So they're going to spend 1 glamour to add a dice pool to their pool that includes wit, subterfuge, or stealth. So I'm rolling a total of 4 die. And I got not a single frickin' success.
I didn't either.
You didn't either. Okay.
Yay.
So
It's
it
a typical
is
D&D session.
yeah, right, exactly. So you can tell your contract does not go off. You're hoping they're on the other side of the tree, but you're not really sure.
Okay.
This is a reflective action, so you can do it. It's not a one-shot thing. You can try and activate it again next round, so next turn, which we're being very, very fluid about at this point because we're not in any sort of combat situation or anything. So what do you guys do?
I'd like to try to heal this person that's been hit by the car.
Okay, fantastic. Let's pull your.
Oh, hey, you'll be all right. And
Alex,
even though they're like not moving.
And what are you using to heal them?
Oh, gift of warm breath.
Gift of warm breath. Fantastic.
Resolve and survival.
Okay, so the catch is subject has freely offered you some form of sustenance since the last sunrise, which this person has not.
Can I look through their pockets for Slim Fast?
Nom, 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 nom. Okay, so you're going to spend 1 glamour and you're going to roll your resolve plus your survival. So 2 and 1. So you have a pool of 3.
Okay. Ooh, I got a 10.
Oh, nice.
Another 10.
Holy crud.
Okay, so two 10s.
Okay, so roll those again because they.
All right, yeah, I did.
Oh, okay.
And then got stuck.
Okay,
yeah.
so you sit down. You crouch down beside them, and people are looking at you like, okay, why is this hippie doing this? But you try
and maybe I start giving some mouth to mouth too to.
Sure, yeah.
Help things along.
You realize they are not breathing, and their injuries are, if they're not dead already, they are severely injured, way stronger than what this ability. You do see like a couple little scratches and stuff that are on them, like go away when you do it. But this is you would know that Gift of the Warm Breath is not capable of doing like internal injuries, setting bones.
Got it.
That kind of thing. So, yeah. Okay. But nice try. Yeah. Very nice try.
Yeah, and he just kind of says, if you're dead, I hope your soul goes back to the great soul.
Oh, did you have something you wanted to do, Elizabeth?
I wanted to gather some fear from the crowd.
Ooh, yeah. Oh, yeah. There is a lot going on here. Okay, so the mechanic for gathering. Let me grab this book. We call that harvesting emotion. Is harvesting emotion. No, harvesting glamour. There we go. 89 through 91. Not a mechanic I have memorized. I apologize. Harvesting glamour. That is from a dream. Harvesting glamour from emotion is okay. So this is harvesting glamour. This is why I don't have it memorized. Harvesting glamour from emotion is dependent upon the situation and what you're trying to do. So we're going to pick a attribute and a skill that seem appropriate for the situation and the fear-based thing that's going on here. So, and you're playing gray. I am thinking that how about something like, are you going about this like you're standing back here as an observer watching their emotion, or are you actively like trying to do anything to increase their emotion?
So what I was going to do is I was going to get some more glamour, and then I was going to try and then I was going to use my what was it? Tale of Baba
Tale of Baba
Yaga
Yaga.
to get as many observers out of this area with a tail as possible by
Oh, sure.
scaring them away
Okay.
with it. So I wanted to have as much fear as I could, and I was gonna like basically try and make this seem like seeing the. So I was thinking maybe like using like my medicinal knowledge to make them see like seeing this either broken body or seeing this something that they don't want to observe, kind of put that fear in them, get them out. Being
Okay.
here is not safe for them, whatever thing with that. And that was kind of
Okay.
my mindset. Gather their fear to then re-emphasize their fear to get as many people away as possible.
That's fantastic. Okay, wonderful. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually have you roll the same check for gathering the glamour that you're then going to wrap into Baba Yaga. So we're going to use manipulation and intimidation, and you definitely are going to get your specialty of gory details. So your manipulation is 3, your intimidation is 2, plus you get 1 for gory details. So how many dice are you going to roll?
I believe that's 6.
Perfect. So there we go. Fantastic. So roll 6. And tell me how many successes you get.
I got a 9, a 10, and an 8.
Fantastic. Roll your 10 again.
And that was a 3. So I got 3 total.
Okay, fantastic. So you, and I'm not going to double check because we're playing kind of fast and loose with the rules. I'm just going to say that that lets you pull in 3 glamour because this is a very heavy glamour, emotion heavy situation right now.
Nice.
That may not be exactly what the rules say to do, but that's where we're going to run with it because we're not going to waste time double checking them right now. So you've got 3 points of glamour. You're going to throw that into the Tale of Baba Yaga. So what you're going to need to do is basically start talking about, you know, this is really bad. This is, you know, oh my gosh, we really should clear out of here. The police are going to be here any minute. You know, I wouldn't want anybody to get held responsible for this. You know, all those kinds of things that, you know, are going to basically, and because that fear is based on a real threat of, you know, this thing that just happened right in front of these people, that's going to activate your catch. So you're not actually even going to have to spend any glamour to activate Baba Yaga's tail. So what you're going to do is you're going to spend like 5 minutes talking. We're going to kind of fast forward that because I don't want to make you have to do a 5-minute soliloquy. And then you're going to roll your manipulation plus your intimidation. And I'm going to roll a number for what I think the crowd's highest composure is, and we'll base that, how much more you get than what I get will be how effective it is at clearing this out. So if you totally want me, everybody but the directly involved parties will get out of here. If you do amazing, then maybe even we'll have a hit and run situation where the drivers run. If you do about equal, then like half the people will leave. Does that sound good to you?
Sounds
Okay.
great.
Okay, fantastic. So you roll me your manipulation plus your intimidation. Feel free to use your gory details
Bonus.
Yes, your specialty.
Okay.
And then let's see, resolve.
And successes are 8s, 9s, and 10s, correct?
8, 9s, and 10s. Yep.
So,
I'm going to give the highest crowd. I'm going to use 3 die for that because that's the average resolve.
so I had 3 8s and a 9, so I got 4.
Oh, nice. Well, I only got 1. So you did really well. And pretty much everybody except for the drivers that are involved in the scene and one guy that is down beside Pax who is trying to like put pressure on one of the major wounds. He stays. The driver of the 2 vehicles stay. Pretty much everybody takes off. Possibly even including the guy behind the tree. We're not really sure yet because he's out of sight.
To clarify, are the drivers trapped in the car?
No, they've gotten out and they're actually arguing between the 2 of them. The guy that hit the other guy's car because he was trying to swerve out of the way. You know, the guy's like, "What were you doing? It's not my fault. He jumped right out in front of me. I didn't have any choice. I was just trying to keep from hitting him." So they're kind of in a arguing match between themselves. And it looks like probably the guy that is putting pressure on the wound was probably the passenger from the car that rotated. So you've really only got three other people on the scene other than the potentially dead person. What would you like to do next?
Pax wants to grab a piece of what looks like the glass from the windshield, and use a glamour to see a reflection of the past.
Oh, very clever. Very clever. Nice.
To see like what actually happened that made this person jump in the road.
Fantastic. Okay. So the catch for this is the reflective object belongs to someone that you have a close connection with, which it doesn't. So you're going to need to spend a glamour for that. And then I'm going to need you to roll a wits plus weird. So your weird is 1. Add your wits. So let me see if you have any.
Which is 2. So 3 again.
Fantastic. Just let me know how many successes you get.
I got 1 9.
1 9.
Oh wait, and 8s are a success as well?
8s are 8, 9.
Okay, so 2 successes.
Just a success. Okay, so you guys see Pax, he picks up, a fairly decent size. It's auto glass, so it's all shattered and everything, but it's still reflective. And he's like looking at it, he's holding it up, this way and that. And Pax, what you see in the glass is you see kind of like a dash cam view of these the car proceeding safe speeds and everything like that down this two lane one-way road that surrounds the park. And you can see they're coming up, and you recognize like this big tree that is here is approaching as you're driving. So you're pretty sure you've got like the right time period. Standing beside that tree is a gray-skinned individual with white eyes. And the gentleman that is now on the ground was standing. It looked like he was waiting for a bus or something like that. There's like a bus sign, but no real like bench or anything like that there. He's like leaning up against it. He's got his headphones on, and you see the guy with the gray skin walk up to him, tap him on the shoulder. The guy turns around and is like, and the guy's like, oh, never mind, and then walks back to the tree. And no sooner has the gray-skinned guy turned and walked back towards the tree than the guy with the headphones that's now on the ground starts doing this and jumps out in front of the car. Just like he looks like he is terrified all of a sudden. And as this is happening, the gray-skinned guy like goes back and leans all casual up against the tree, and he's like, but he's just watching the accident like it was television.
Ghost squirrels. Okay.
Hey guys, I think there's a gray-skinned creature around here. I try to whisper subtly to my friends, not in the listening range of the other standers-by.
Yeah, I got eyes on him.
Oh.
Should probably not all turn and stare at him though. He's a little flighty.
Speaking of flighty, Alice flies back down, lands on Sky's shoulder, and she's like, okay, what you want to know?
It seems like the gray man over there. Can you see him?
And he's behind a tree. So
okay.
It's one of those big, like, those like park trees that are like probably if you're looking at the trunk width, it's probably like 3 foot wide in a given angle. So it's pretty easy for somebody to hide behind it. Maybe not Rip, but anybody smaller than Dem definitely could probably hide behind it. And so she's like, green, see green guy.
Okay.
And she's looking over at the Slender Man kind of character.
They're not him, but there was an accident here where two of the big cars just.
Yeah, that happens.
What
Humans
about
are
the
dumb.
man? What if the one dumb human that ran out in the middle of them? He sort of freaked out. Do you have any idea, like maybe why, or maybe if
That one
anyone
guy
was?
talked to the other guy. He touched him, and then he scared him, and he ran away. Oh, I mean, he ran in front of the car. He don't go far.
Mhm.
Humans are
Has he
stupid.
touched anybody else? How long has he been here? The one who touches people and scares them.
Oh, he come around. She
Could
say
you?
she's seen him. People don't like him much.
Does he travel in his car? Obviously not like. If there's some numbers off of it or anything, in case he goes home, because I think I found something of his, but in case he goes home,
He just walks.
or he just walk. Do you know where he
Sometimes
walks?
he
to?
disappear.
Oh, do you know where he disappears to?
She say he come out of gate and go back into gate.
Okay.
And you guys would know that there is a gateway here in the park that's used to get back and forth to like the Goblin Market, and that kind of thing. But any gateway will open out into the hedge, and then there are pathways that are called trods that are. Some of them are established to get to certain locations. You don't go off the trod when you're in the hedge. If you do, your chances of getting lost and not being able to find your way back to a trod, let alone find your way out of the hedge, are very, very minimal. So it would not be surprising at all to find out that a changeling, had used this gateway. People usually can't activate them, although sometimes in certain circumstances, like under the full moon, if they were clutching a bronze key in their hand on a Friday afternoon, this gateway might open for a human or that kind of thing. But it's for the most part, they're activated by using glamour. So they're not things that humans normally pass in and out of.
Do we know where it is? Sorry.
Yeah, it's not too far away. It's at the other end of the park. The physical representation of it in the mortal world is an old, like, it looks like a great big double steel gate, or like an ornamental garden gate, but that's probably 10 feet tall and maybe 8 feet wide or so. And it's got the big like arched top and the two doors that open like this. But it's just a decoration now. There's no wall or fence that actually, attaches to the sides of it or anything. It's just like a freestanding ornamental gate.
So we know where it is. We don't have to like hunt for it.
No, you've gone through it yourselves.
Then thank you very much, Alice. And I think I'm going to kind of take deep breath and let a deep breath out and kind of be in tune with nature for a minute and sort of ask the plants that maybe they could lend me a hand in making that gate a little bit more difficult to go through. Maybe some vines grow up over it or something. And I cast, unless I'm doing it wrong, Viridian Embrace. While outdoors or around a lot of plants, make nature aid you. I want to try and block his exit so he can't peace out on us.
Okay, so this is one of the circumstances where the short description of the contract doesn't necessarily is much more general than the actual mechanics of the contract. The contract actually gives you a bonus to perception, movement, or stealth when you're moving through an area like that.
Okay.
So it doesn't really do what you're trying for it to do. But I tell you what, why don't you roll it? If you get a really good success, maybe we'll run with it.
Okay.
So you're going to roll your weird plus your expression.
Okay. Expression. Okay. And my weird. Weird you said is 1.
Yeah, your weird is 1. It's up at the top of your second page under your health.
Ah, I see. Okay.
And because you are technically trying to come to the aid of a human, because you're trying to track down the person that you think attacked him, I'm going to go ahead and let you not have to spend the 2 glamour for it.
Okay. I got the one.
You got 1 success. Yeah, you can look over and you're like, yeah, I don't think this is going to do what, I mean, it was a good idea, but I just don't think it's going to actually do what I think it's going to do.
Then I let everybody know. I think if he's going to try and bug out in response to Rip, your hey, like we're trying to keep an eye on him. If he was going to give flight, I think he'd do it through that door. I'm not great at blocking things. If I could get an assist, Alex, do you mind?
I was muted. Why, of course. And he just cracks his knuckles and he's twiddling those chess pieces as he's walking over to try and block.
I beam at that too, and sort of join his cocky strut and going over there and be like, I know I can always count on you.
So you guys are kind of basically moving to where you're between the tree and the accident site and the gates. Am I understanding that right? So you're in a good interception position. Okay, what is everybody else going to do?
I'm going to do what I'm paid to do. I'm a bounty hunter. I'm gonna use my my pursuer's 7 league jump to get real close to the tree, and then I'm gonna chase after and subdue.
Fantastic.
And if they're not there, then I'll start investigating.
Sounds great.
Because he's basically just a bail jumper as far as I'm concerned.
Nice. Okay, so go ahead and roll me your athletics plus your weird. You are not currently pursuing an oath breaker. So oaths are very, very important to changelings. They're one of the ways that they ensure that each other will not betray one another. And they're one of the only things that, like, if you enter a deal with a changeling, you will swear it on an oath, and if you refuse to swear an oath, not only are they probably not going to do the thing that they're trying to get you to, or you're trying to get them to do, but they're also going to be super suspicious, or you will be super suspicious of them, because this is like the core tenet of changeling interactions. You guys as a motley have sworn an oath to protect each other. And anytime you take like a job for someone or that kind of thing, you usually swear an oath that basically details out what each party is going to do, what each party gets as a benefit from it. And you can even get things like, you can get glamour from oaths just by swearing that on your strength this will happen, or that kind of thing, and it will actually give you glamour. You can get all kinds of different little benefits, and they also detail out what will happen if you break them. But in this case, this individual is not an oath breaker, so that doesn't apply.
I'm gonna burn a willpower on this.
Fantastic.
Because I realized I only have 3 dice. So it's just a 1.
Okay. So you can jump 15 feet horizontally or 8 feet vertically. That is enough to get you on the other side of the tree, which is basically what you were wanting to do, because this guy is not too far away from, or the last place you saw this guy is not too far away from where you are.
The Hulk jump.
Hulk jump. So the rest of you see them go and do this, massive Hulk jump and superhero landing and that kind of thing. Rip sees a very, very surprised looking individual. As we described earlier, his skin is gray. His eyes are white. As you're now arm's length away from him, your arms at least. For the rest of us, it'd be like 2 arms lengths. But and you can see that his eyes, they're not just white; they're patterned with gray that look like looking at the moon through a telescope.
Fancy.
And the eyes, you get a really good look at them because they get about this big.
I'm going to say easy way, hard way.
Are you real? Wait, are you real?
Easy way or hard way?
I I don't understand. Are you
Okay, hard way. I'm gonna try and subdue him.
okay?
Right.
Fantastic. Okay, let's see. We're going to use for that. We're going to use. How about
Strength brawl.
strength and brawl? Sounds amazing. And because he is very confused, please feel free to throw in your specialty for sneak attack.
Okay, fantastic.
Nice.
And because it's I think it's because it's strength based. Oh no, it's wits based. Never mind.
But you can spend glamour to increase your pool at a 1-for-1 basis.
Yeah, well, I got 6 die right now. I think
Okay.
I'm gonna. That's pretty good.
Get it.
All right, that is 1 success.
Okay. You grab him.
Mhm.
He's light. I mean, he's you know, even for a human of his size, he's pretty light. And you basically lift him up off his feet, and he's still just looking at you like, wait, you couldn't do this if you weren't real. But you don't look right.
You ain't that bright, are you?
Am I don't know. Last time they weren't real, but then you thought they weren't real, and then they were real, and then what if this one is real? And I mean, it's the most casual conversation that he's having with himself about this.
I'm neither drunk nor angry enough for this conversation. I'm gonna shake him a little bit.
Oh, okay, that's real. Okay, that's real. You're not my keeper. You're not my keeper.
No.
Going back. I'm not going back. I'm not going back. I'm not going back. You're not my keeper.
Whoa, wait, hey. Calm down. I got away from my keeper. So I'm not gonna take you back because I'm not stupid.
If you hold still, they can't see you.
Should we give this person some of our
I'm gonna lean my head over so I can see the rest of the motley and just be like, "Oi, newbie!"
I think we all. I don't think this guy's running. I think it's safe for us to not block the exit. They don't seem like a runner.
Loon.
Yeah.
Not newbie, not seer, not observer, not watcher. Loon, not newbie. No, Loon. I'm Loon. Can't forget that. I'm Loon. Can't forget that.
Hi, Loon. I'm Pax. I saw my friend Rip jump over here.
I'm gonna hand you to somebody else who is gonna be far better at this conversation than I am. Because I kind of want to hit you into that tree.
Loon is still like,
so
their feet are like this far off the ground. Like Rip is just holding them up like he was holding up a coat.
Hey, Rip, good
just
job.
Gonna drop.
Can I give
drop
you
Loon in front of Pax?
There. Kiss him on the back of the head. It's all good.
This isn't real. People don't.
With that kiss, I wanted to learn one of the subject's desires.
Okay.
With Cupid's eye.
Cupid's eye, very nice. Okay, so you roll your wits plus your weird. Let me know how many successes you get. Check to see if there's anything that applies in your blessings and stuff. And I'm going to roll Loon's composure plus weird.
Okay. Wits plus weird is just 3, but how do I add one? Oh, if I do willpower?
You can add 1 with a willpower by spending a willpower. Okay. Let's see. You are using wits plus weird. None of those apply. Yeah, you can add 1 by spending a willpower.
Okay, I got 1 success.
Okay. And I got 2 7s, so I got 0. So you win. You don't have to spend the glamour because you activated the catch. Their desire, strongest desire. Are you looking for something in particular, like a particular flavor, recent? biggest right now,
Yeah,
biggest
like
overall.
any motives around potentially causing this person to jump in the road, which is my running suspicion that they caused it somehow.
Sure. Hunger, glamour, hunger, just ravenous, like
Hungry newbie.
the equivalent basically of, you know, a toddler sitting down at a buffet of marshmallows and trying to stuff them all in their mouths. Just
Oof. Hey, I'm piecing together. Maybe you caused an accident to soak up some emotion. That's
it's
kind
okay,
of
it's not
fucked up.
real. No, it's
Oh.
okay, it's not real. It's none of
I
this is
hate
real.
to break it to you. It's definitely real.
No, this is all.
I'm-
you can tell me that I know, Mike, but
I'm
all.
gonna toss one of
what's-
my goblin fruit. That my remaining generic one. I'm gonna toss a
Mhm.
goblin fruit. Eat that. Eat it.
Oh, okay, none of
Eat
this is
it.
real. It doesn't matter. And so, yeah, he scarfs it down hungrily, like. But all the time, as he's eating it, he's like, "Doesn't matter. My keeper's gonna show up any minute now and tell me that this was all a test. It's fine. It's fine. None of this is real."
Do I need to
real.
prove to you it's
You're
real
not real.
again?
You're not real.
Because that sounds kind of fun. Do I need to prove to you the reality of this? Because
He's done worse. What are you
Man.
gonna do? Pull my arms off? Leave me on the moon for a
Thinking about
decade?
it.
It's all been done.
Um,
Dumb at this point. The only thing that matters is for a minute, this
Do you-
feels good.
do you even realize that you're out?
Out of what? A fruit?
The
Yeah,
hedge.
I'm all out of fruit now. Can I have
You're
more?
past the hedge.
We
You're out.
we have somebody who once had some difficulty with also checking out where you're inside or outside of something. Real and not real is maybe subjective, and maybe you have it right. Maybe what we feel is sometimes when we can't decide what's real or not, maybe what we feel is somewhat important. So maybe the question is whether or not we feel safe. Gray, you've had some experience with this.
You
Yeah,
say the
what-
weirdest
She always
stuff, bird.
I don't understand
So-
why
Say
my
the
keeper would send
weirdest
you.
stuff.
Yeah. I don't
So-
understand.
Nobody sent us.
first,
That's what
I
they
want to
all
do a vision of strife.
Okay.
To get an idea of what the most traumatic thing that's happened, and then I want to do witch's intuition.
Okay.
To kind of get an idea of the overall fears.
say. Okay.
So
Fantastic. Roll me a. So the target is currently speaking about their past and about the things that they experienced in their durance. So that catch is activated. So roll me your weird plus your empathy. You don't have to spend a glamour because you activated the catch.
see, where is my empathy? There it is. Kisses 3.
And just so you guys know, we've hit the 8 o'clock mark. So we're going to kind of wrap this up. We're really close to the end here, but that's just if anybody has to go right at 8 o'clock, I wanted to give you guys a time mark.
So that was one success for the vision of strife.
Okay. So what you see is kind of a series, although it's technically the most traumatic and harmful thing. But what you get is like this series of snapshots, because the fact that they are a series of snapshots is what's the most traumatic. And it's every single time it's Loon believing that they've escaped, they've been given their freedom, they've earned their freedom, they've made a bargain for their freedom, they've found a secret tunnel out, and as soon as they have that moment of I did it, I'm free, this individual that glows like a full moon steps out of the shadows, turns like somebody that they've been talking to, their face turns into it, and the figure just it doesn't speak because it doesn't have any features. Its face literally glows, but you just get the communication that, oh, silly thing, let's go back and start again. and
Okay.
the trauma starts again.
Okay.
And then you wanted to try doing
Just
which one?
the witch's intuition,
Which is intuition. Fantastic.
which I don't know if I was here when they started saying their name or not.
Loon.
Yeah. Well, because if I wasn't here when
Oh.
they started saying their name, then I lose the composure point on the dice pool. So
Oh, I said no. You don't lose the composure point. All that means is that you have to spend the point of glamour to activate
Okay, so-
instead of yeah.
Okay.
So you still roll your yeah. What? I'll leave it up to you. Do you want to have heard, or do you?
I
want
don't
to
think
have
I
not
was
heard?
here because they were.
Okay.
He was saying it when
Around the tree.
Yeah.
Totally.
So
So
I still
you
only
don't have
had
to spend point
one.
of-
Yeah.
Yep.
So it was.
it's-
Yeah. So I only had one success anyway.
Oh,
So,
okay, fantastic. And I'm going against their composure, which was, oops, sorry, I have to keep flipping back and forth between sheets. Composure, they only have a 1 composure, so, and they got a 5, so no, they didn't get any successes. So you have successfully completed that, and that was Witch's Intuition, is that right?
yes.
And their fear is just dovetailed with that. Their fear is not that this will happen again. Their fear is that they'll start believing again, and then this will happen.
Okay. So with that knowledge, I try to use, even though this is outside of like kind of my base ability, because I normally am trying to, intimidate people into like this stuff, I'm going to try and be more calm than usual with it and be like, and I actually bring up what their main fear is. I'm like, I know that you feel like this face, this glowing face keeps coming back to you and making you go through this. Like, but I'm saying it as calmly and as nice as I can. Be like,
Yeah.
and I'm like, I know this is what you go through, and I know that's hard for you, and I know you're scared. That you can't understand what's real and what's not, and that's so hard for you. And I know it's hard to know what's happening with the different things, but we're here to try. I don't know what's really necessarily what's going to happen, but right now, what's going on, I know this because I'm real.
Do you think that you're the first person who said that to me? Do you think he hasn't tried this?
I'm sure he has.
Over?
I'm sure he has. Is
And
there some sort of heal check I can do on him? Like, is there some sort of way to roll a heal or something? I don't know.
So getting rid of derangements, which is probably what this individual has, is not something that's easily done mechanically speaking. In certain things can help. For example, they just gave Loon some fruit to help assuage the hunger, kind of thing. That's a comforting thing. Talking with him, showing him things that that are like maybe doing things like saying, okay, but how about you trust us this far? How about you trust us this far?
Yeah,
that kind of thing. Can
maybe
be
giving
done, but
another dream of fruit, because is it summer right now? Because I know that
it is summer.
Feeling. So I give another one of my dream of fruits, knowing that is additional healing fruit as well.
Okay.
Guy also comes over and just sits down. Doesn't say anything. Just sort of sits down next to you to kind of show that not standing, not being over. Just it's okay to sit. Just kind of being calm and sitting.
Being there. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, and he obviously takes note of that. Like it's kind of like dealing with a scared fawn or something. He's just very, very aware of where everybody is and completely not having he's not treating any of this like it's real. He's very kind of removed from it, and he eats the fruit and but he keeps muttering kind of under his breath. It's just, remember, none of this is real. Feels real.
So
It's not real.
Alex he's getting frustrated, and he's going to try and just like intimidate him. He's like he's not trying to scare him, but he's just trying to be as blunt and as straightforward as possible. And he's like gonna look at him directly in the eyes, takes out a cigarette, and he says, "It's all real." And he's just trying to speak. I think I have a thing where to speak from a frame of authority.
Okay.
Mask of superiority costs
Sure,
2
yeah.
more.
Mhm.
And just I'm like trying to speak as, trust me, kid, this is all real.
Can I assist on that?
You know what? Yeah, let's go ahead and do that. If you want to go ahead and, kind of be supportive of Alex's action,
No,
we'll
no,
let
this is-
Alex throw
seriously.
in an extra die for your die pool, Alex, you will use your weird plus your intimidation plus 1 die for every motley member that's going to assist you in this project. And that is versus
If we can all assist, I'll assist.
Sure, yeah, go ahead and throw on in.
Me too.
You guys are all doing a really good job of in your own ways reaffirming the reality of what Alex is saying. So I think that's very appropriate. And I just need to find his resolve, which is only 2.
1, 2, 3.
I got no successes.
5, 6 successes.
Okay.
Okay, so Loon doesn't want to believe you. He doesn't want to believe you at all. But you can tell, like, creeping in around the edge is that, because you can tell because he starts to look more scared. And he's starting to be like, wait, like, for reals? For reals this time?
Yeah.
I know that look. I get that from time to time. When I'm scared, the first thing that helps me out, if I'm not so hungry, maybe if we all sat down, and I know it's kind of silly, but what about a picnic? We all sit down and we all have a little something to eat, and maybe it'll calm us down, and maybe we all feel a little bit more comfortable. Come sit.
I might suggest that we do this a little further away from the accident.
Oh yeah,
I did
yeah,
kind
that might
of
also
jump
be more
14
safe. We did
get a
feet next to a
little bit-
crowd. Maybe we
And this
gotta-
guy gets up and like dusts herself off, like lost herself in a moment. She's a little embarrassed. It's like, yes.
Yeah.
I turned to Loon. Do you want to ride on a motorcycle? That's a good one.
Sure.
All right.
And you guys start to hear sirens. In the
Let's make it a
distance.
quick ride on a motorcycle.
Maybe faster is better. Yes.
Yeah, come on.
And one of the things that you guys would know is that it is generally, there are people at the Freehold who specialize in teaching people who have just come out of the hedge. So if this is not, it's kind of like you get a kind of bonus, like notoriety or prestige for being the people to bring newcomers into the Freehold. And you also get your first, you're kind of considered to get first shot at trying to recruit them to your court or recruit them to your motley. But there are definitely people within the Freehold who specialize in helping people who have just come out of the hedge and that kind of thing. So if you can get Loon convinced to go to the Summer Monarch, and basically present him before the king and get permission for him to be kind of adopted into the Freehold, then that's a pretty common way of changelings starting to join the Freehold and learn what they need to learn.
The
Yes.
current king doesn't glow, does he? Because that would really undermine this whole thing.
Yeah, that would be like, yeah.
No, the current king is a bear beast.
Okay.
He's a very, very large, like Kodiak-sized bear.
Is that going to
Nice.
mess with reality thoughts?
Well, maybe not any more so than, you know, the person with the blue hair and the cat ears and the person with the wings and the
Touche.
guy that's 8 feet tall. And every time I talk about them, they get bigger. So
I'm rolling
Uh,
with it. That's canon.
Safe weird things.
did you need something, Kevin?
Just whenever Loon kind of makes it to our place and it's nighttime, he's like, yeah, hey man, rough day. I think a nice scent would be good before you cash in your chips there. And he's gonna light the sweet sleep
Oh, nice.
herbs.
Nice.
Yep.
Yeah. On
Give
the
this
way,
guy-
as you're attempting to get him back, he starts talking about things like, but wait, if this is real, then I did that and all
We all
those
do.
others.
We all do
Right,
bad
but
things first out of the hedge.
No,
Hey,
I
we
didn't
all
know.
do bad things first out of the hedge. You didn't know it was real. You didn't know.
I didn't.
You didn't know, and that's
I didn't mean to. I mean, I meant
Yeah.
to, but I didn't mean to.
look. You didn't mean to. You didn't know it was real. It's pretty straightforward as far as I'm concerned.
But if it's real, but if it's not real, then I guess I didn't do those things, or it doesn't matter. So
Well, here's the thing. I find that if you remember doing something, it's still kind of there. It can
Yeah.
still bug you in the night.
yeah.
But what you do is you remember it and you don't do it again. That's what that's about. Because what all this is about. We don't do it again.
But I'm gonna get hungry again.
Well, there are a lot of other ways. There are a lot of other ways to feed. I can help you. I know a lot.
Ways that don't.
I am
hurt
a
people?
big scary individual. I know a lot about feeding and scaring people without hurting anyone.
Okay.
I can teach you.
You'll teach
I can
me?
teach you. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm really tired.
Already
I
lighting the
completely
herbs and
understand.
just waving.
Yeah.
Yeah, and no sooner, like literally,
Yeah.
this person has probably been running on adrenaline and glamour for weeks.
Yeah.
And no sooner does that smoke hit their scent than they are passed out on the couch of the Motley House.
Because I'm the one that brought him in there. I think Rip's gonna take full
Try and
just
take
take full responsibility for the whole thing there.
nice, wonderful.
Yeah, you
Well-
did a great job.
Yeah.
Well, I think that kind of brings us. I mean, you guys did a really good job. That story could have gone so many different ways, and you guys did a really good job of figuring out what was going on and that kind of thing. So, thank you very much. It was really fun. I hope you guys had fun. Do you have any questions before we wrap things up about Changeling, about your characters, about anything that we talked about that seemed a little unclear or anything?
The blast.
The
No?
blast?
It was a blast.
Oh,
Thank
it
you.
was
This was a lot of fun.
blast. Oh,
Thank
okay.
you.
I'm like,
Thank you. This
the
was a lot of
blast. I
fun.
don't remember a blast.
What?
Yeah.
Good. No, you guys were great. I loved how you just jumped in and ran with things, and it was really good. You all did really good. Even those of you who were shy. Really good, guys. So we're going to wrap things up now. If you have any questions in the future, please feel free to reach out to me. You can contact me through the Discord. My email is jess@jesshartley.com. I'm always happy to answer questions about role-playing games, Changeling specifically, or anything else that I've got experience with. And thank you. You guys made this a real joy to do this evening. Thank you very much.
Awesome. Thank you.
Thank
Take
you.
care, okay?
All right.
Night.